You walk into a room, there are voices, laughter, footsteps echoing softly against the walls. Faces blur past you, familiar, unfamiliar, all just flashes of light and sound. And yet you don't really see them. You think you're paying attention. You think you know what's going on, but the truth is you're blind, not physically, emotionally, mentally, silently. We've all been trained to trust our instincts, to follow our feelings, to go with the flow. But what if that's the very reason we keep missing what truly matters? What if right now someone is watching you more closely than you realize? Not to hurt you, not even to help you, just observing quietly. Reading you like an open book, noticing the things you don't even notice about yourself. And the strangest part, you're giving them all the clues without knowing. Every shift in your tone, every glance, every hesitation, you think you're guarded. But you're not. You think others aren't watching, but they are. And maybe that's what hurts the most, not that we're being seen, but that we've never really learned to see. There's a boy in a story I once read, Ayane Koji Kiyotaka. He wasn't loud, he wasn't charming, he just watched, silently, patiently, like the world was a puzzle and everyone in it was a piece. He didn't get swept away by emotions. He didn't fall into traps of words. He listened to silence. He followed patterns, and slowly people around him began to reveal everything without knowing they were revealing anything at all. What if you had that power, not to control people, but to understand them, not to manipulate, but to connect more deeply than words ever could? What if learning English wasn't just about vocabulary and grammar, but about tuning in, listening differently, seeing the world with new eyes? Let me show you how, not with tricks. Not with games, but with something so simple it almost feels like magic. Observation, real, quiet, gentle observation. The kind that begins not with others, but with you. When was the last time you argued with someone you loved? Maybe a friend, a parent, someone close. They said something and it made your blood boil. You couldn't even hear their reasoning. You just wanted to be right, to protect your pride. But what if they weren't trying to hurt you? What if they were trying to reach you and you just didn't see it? Because your anger, your fear, your shame, it blurred the lens. You didn't observe. You reacted. Or maybe you talked to someone you liked, a crush. You tried to be cool, to say the right things, but inside you were screaming, do they like me back? And in that chaos of thoughts, you missed the smallest hints they dropped, hints that might have changed everything. We all miss the signs, because we let our feelings speak louder than the truth. But it doesn't have to stay that way. You can learn to see clearly again, to look at people not as threats or trophies or mysteries, but as they truly are. Start here. The next time you walk into a room, don't talk, don't analyze, don't rush to connect. Just observe, breathe, be still. Let the room unfold. Watch how people move when someone laughs. Watch who they look at. Notice the little shifts, a lean, a sigh, a smile that lingers just 1 second too long. Those are not accidents. They're messages, and they're everywhere waiting for you to read them. But here's the thing. You can't read others until you learn to read yourself. You see, most of us go through life wearing a mask we don't even know we're wearing. We smile when we don't feel like smiling. We laugh to fit in. We say yes when everything in us wants to say no. But the most dangerous part, we stop noticing we're doing it. We start believing the mask is who we really are. And that's why we need to step outside ourselves, not forever. Just long enough to see clearly, to observe the person we've become with kindness, not judgment. So try this. Imagine you are a stranger. You walk into a room and see yourself for the very first time. What do you notice? Do you speak too fast, like you're afraid of being interrupted? Do you laugh too loudly, just to feel like you belong? Do your shoulders sag even when your words say you're fine? You might think you're confident, but look again. Are you standing tall or just pretending? This isn't about tearing yourself apart. It's about waking up, because the truth is, most people never stop to ask these questions. And so they stay asleep, living the same day over and over, wondering why they feel invisible. But not you. You're here, you're listening, and that means something has already changed. Imagine your life as a documentary. The camera is always rolling. What kind of person does it see? Do you walk with purpose or drift with the crowd? Do you speak with intention or fill silence just to escape it? Are you someone the camera lingers on or someone it forgets? You don't need to be perfect, but you need to be real, because healing begins the moment we stop pretending and start observing with compassion. Here's something else, something quiet but powerful: silence. Most people think silence is awkward, so we rush to fill it with chatter, jokes, nervous laughter. But the ones who truly understand know that silence isn't emptiness, it's power. The person who controls the silence controls the conversation. Try this. The next time you're in a conversation, pause for just 2 seconds before you speak. 2 quiet seconds, no rush, no fear. Watch what happens. The other person will keep talking. They'll reveal more. They'll try to prove something. They'll fill the space because they're uncomfortable with stillness. But you'll be calm, present, in control, like the eye of a storm. That stillness, it's not weakness. It's strength, because sometimes the words that aren't spoken are louder than the ones that are. We live in a world where noise is everywhere, but silence, that's where truth lives. And the more you sit with it, the more you'll hear things you never noticed before. But let's go deeper now. Let's talk about patterns. Everything in life, people, habits, emotions, they follow rhythms. The girl who buys the same drink every morning isn't just thirsty, she's following a pattern, a ritual, a need, a comfort. The boy who jokes too much in class, maybe he's not just funny, maybe he's hiding something. Fear, loneliness, pressure. If you can see the pattern, you can understand the person, and when you understand them, you can reach them. You can build bridges where others see walls. You can even use this in your own life. Notice what you do every day. What time do you get quiet? When do you feel most alive? When do you always get anxious, and why? These aren't random moments. They're clues to who you are, to who you're becoming, because every action is a sentence in the story of your life. And when you start reading it clearly, you can choose how the next chapter begins. There's something strange about human beings. We think we're spontaneous, free, but most of the time, we are patterns wearing the mask of freedom. Wake up. Check your phone, same apps, same scroll, same people. You sit in the same chair, drink from the same mug, think the same thoughts you did yesterday. It feels familiar. It feels safe. But if you step back, even just for a moment, you'll see it. You're living a loop, and here's the secret: so is everyone else. There's a quiet kind of genius in the ones who notice this. They're the ones who don't react. They respond. They don't just hear what you say. They listen for what you always say. They notice how you fidget when you're lying, how you blink differently when you're nervous, how you always say it's fine, but look away when you do. They see the story under the surface, because they've trained themselves to see patterns. Not just in others, but in life. Look around. Every moment is echoing another. People are not random. They are habits. They are memories playing themselves out. They are pain pretending to be laughter. They are loneliness pretending to be confidence. You see that guy who always brags? He's not proud. He's scared. You see that girl who keeps everyone laughing? Maybe she hasn't laughed honestly in years. And when you start to see this, really see it, something shifts inside you. You stop judging, you start understanding, you stop asking, what's wrong with them? And instead you ask, what happened to them? This is where healing begins, when you look past what people show and see what they're hiding. It's not always pretty. Sometimes it's messy, but it's real, and real is worth everything. You can use this awareness in every part of life. Let's say you're negotiating. The other person seems tough, arrogant, but you remember something, a detail they once let slip. They always want to be first. They hate missing out, so you make them an offer, limited time, one shot, first and last, and suddenly they panic. Their ego speaks louder than their reason. They take the deal, not because you forced them, but because you understood them. You saw their pattern, and you played the right note. This isn't manipulation. This is empathy in motion, awareness at work. It's the dance of quiet intelligence, and it begins with observation, but it goes deeper still. It's not just about others, it's about you. What's your pattern? When do you always doubt yourself? When do you give up too early? When do you say yes when your heart is screaming no? Notice it. Write it down. Feel it. Understand where it comes from, because that pattern, it's not your destiny, it's just a script you've been repeating, and scripts can be rewritten. You can change the music, change the rhythm, create a new song, one that's honest, one that's yours. There's something happening in your life right now. Maybe it's quiet, maybe it's loud, but it's there, a feeling, a shift, a question you can't name. But you feel it when you wake up, when you stare at the ceiling late at night. You know something needs to change, you just don't know where to begin. Begin here. Begin with attention, not to the noise outside, but to the soft voice within, because when you start to observe your life, as if you were watching someone you love, you begin to notice what you've been ignoring. The tiredness behind your smile, the hesitation in your voice, the quiet ache that's been waiting for you to finally ask, "Are you okay?" And when you observe without judgment, something beautiful happens. You stop trying to be impressive. You stop trying to win. You simply start showing up. Fully, present, real. You begin to live in a way that doesn't chase applause, but creates peace. You begin to realize that smart isn't loud. It's not fast. It's not flashy. It's quiet. It's still. It's the strength to pause when others rush, the clarity to wait when others react, the courage to listen when others shout. People will tell you that you need to be strong, but here's the truth, you already are. Because you're learning to observe, to understand, to hold space for yourself and for others, that's real strength, that's rare. And if you keep going, if you keep choosing awareness over assumption, presence over performance, compassion over control, you will become untouchable. Not because no one can hurt you, but because you'll no longer need to hide. This is not a trick. This is a life, a better one, and it's yours if you want it. So now take a breath, feel your feet on the floor. Listen to the silence between these words. You're not lost, you're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be, seeing clearly, feeling gently, living slowly, learning deeply. And maybe the world won't notice the change right away. Maybe they'll still see the same you, but you'll know because you'll walk into a room. And instead of being blind, you'll begin to see not just others, but yourself, and in that quiet seeing, in that still awareness, you'll find something you've been looking for all along. Peace, let this message sit with you. Rewind it if you need to, close your eyes and listen again, and when you're ready, step back into your life. A little wiser, a little softer, a little more alive. You're not here to impress, you're here to connect. To notice, to live quietly, powerfully.